Coming up next on Power for Living with Bishop Dale C. Bronner.
He's David's slingshot. He's Isaiah's figs. He's Hezekiah's sundial. He's Peter's shadow. He's Paul's handkerchief and apron. He's Stephen's signs and wonders. He's Paul's pearly white gates. Yeah! My God, my God.
This is Bishop Dale Bronner, and I want you to know that as life deals certain things to you, you'll have to be able to accept those things and then move on, but never, ever forget what God has brought you from, what He has brought you through. As with the children of Israel, when He delivered them from slavery, delivered them from the wilderness, He brought them to the promised land. But He told them to create this Ark of the Covenant. This was a place of memorial where they could remember what God had done for them. You ought to always have your own personal Ark of the Covenant to remind you of the things that God has delivered you from, delivered you through, and delivered you to, so that your heart is filled with thanksgiving from Him.
And so I want to talk today from the subject, blessed to bless. God has blessed you to be able to bless others. Whatever God has done to you and in you, He now wants to do through you. God has determined in His own heart and mind to make you a blessing every place that you go. You're a blessing on your way somewhere to happen. You are a blessing. You really are. Now listen, I believe that the main reasons that they were told not to take anything with them on this trip, He says, don't take anything. Don't take a walking stick. Don't take a change of clothes. Don't take food. Don't take money. You see, the just shall live by faith and not by sight. So He says, don't take anything. Don't take anything. But I think the real reason that He didn't want them to take anything is because He wanted to bless the people who would have to host them. He wanted them, He says, I want you to go because I want their hospitality to actually be the seed for the blessing or the miracle that they stand in the need of. So you go and they'll take care of you, and their kindness to you, their hospitality to you will be the seed for their own miracle. But then notice He said, if they don't receive you, He didn't say stand there and argue with them and telling them how you're going to lose a blessing and try to raise your hand and try to curse people because they didn't receive you. He said, whatever's on your shoes, shake the dust off of your feet, off of your shoes, and keep stepping. Move on to another place and leave them in their state of inhospitality and ingratitude, because it will curse them. You don't have to curse them. They'll curse themselves because of the sin of inhospitality, of just being rude and cruel, because you reap what you, not what you intended to sow. You reap what you sow. So He says, I want them to sow because I want to bring a blessing into their life. So I'm going to give them the opportunity by being able to meet a very real need in your life. I mean, growing up in the beauty industry, and sometimes when I'd go off with my brother, I remember we went off on a trip, and the only thing that my daddy sent us with was products. We didn't have a cash allowance. We didn't have a company card. And so if we were going to eat and be able to stay at a hotel, we had to sell products. What a wonderful motivator. I mean, that helped us to get our hustle on. Because we realize if we don't sell, we don't eat. And this is Jesus' way of saying, hey, we're talking about living by faith. Don't you take your money bag. I don't want you to carry anything, because I've got some folks there that's going to take care of you. And when they take care of you, I'm going to bless them. I'm going to bless you by their taking care of you, but I'm going to bless them. And I think that the reason that He says don't carry anything was to be able to give an opportunity for them to genuinely bless you. So He says, I'm going to set you up, and I'm going to set them up. I'm going to set them up to take care of you, and I'm going to set what they do for you to be the seed for the miracle that they need that will bless their whole town. That's what He did. But I also believe for the sake of the disciples, I think that it was to demonstrate to them the principles of faith. It was to strengthen their faith, because he says, don't take anything. So that means they had to believe God and not carry any money, any change of clothes. The hospitality had to be provided in the place that he was sending them, so that they could not walk by their sight, but they had to walk by faith that God would take care of them. And sometimes God will send you out on a mission to do something, and he knows you don't have enough to do what you need to do. But he's saying, can you trust me? Can you trust me that I will provide for you? Will you allow me to reveal myself as Jehovah Jireh, the Lord your provider? Will you give me an opportunity to demonstrate to you that I will take care of you when you come up short? When you don't have enough, if you go in my name and if you do my bidding, I'm not talking about doing devilment. I'm not talking about being devilish and mannish and freaky and all of that. I'm talking about when you got a right heart to want to do the things of God. God says, I will take care of you. I'll provide for you. It might be scary for a few moments, but God says, I will meet your need. I'm going to take care of you. I got you. I've got resources of which you don't understand. I've got people that I will move on their hearts to bless you. Anybody ever know what I'm talking about? That you've been in a low place and somebody came and helped you at a time. Somebody paid for your meal when somebody brought you clothes and they didn't even understand why, but God was looking out for you. I'm telling you, if you'll serve him, and I'm telling you, there's time that he'll bless you even when you didn't deserve it. Anybody got one of those kind of things where you realize, I don't even deserve this, but the Lord has taken care of me anyhow? But this is where they were. This is where they were. But he didn't just do this as an all-time strategy. There was a place where he would tell them at another place. I want you to look what Jesus told them in Luke chapter 22 and verse 35 through 37. Then Jesus asked him, he says, when I sent you out to preach the good news and you didn't have money, a traveler's bag or an extra pair of sandals, he said, did you need anything? Did you go lacking? Were you hungry? No, they replied. He says, but now, he said, take your money and a traveler's bag. And if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. For this, he says, for the time has come for this prophecy about me to be fulfilled. He was counted among the rebels. Yes, everything written about me by the prophets will come true. So you see, he didn't make this just a general law that you'll never be able to have anything. Most of the time when you start off with God, you won't have much, and you start by faith. But you know, you don't need to be 65 years old and still trying to believe God to be able to have lunch money today. Now, it's fine to do that while you're in your teens. But when you get to be over 60, you don't need to be trying to believe God, for a sandwich. He said, no, this time take your money, take your bag, take your change of clothes. So he says the time is different now. You got to know what time it is. You got to be able to have listen, let me tell you this, wisdom is not just merely knowing what to do. Knowledge knows what to do. Skill knows how to do it. Wisdom knows whether or not it should be done. And if it should be done, wisdom knows when to do it. Wisdom knows when to keep your mouth closed and when to speak. Wisdom knows the incredible power of privacy. Did you know that privacy is a superpower? You don't realize how much of a superpower privacy is until you lose your privacy. So when you walk with God, he's saying, I'm going to take care of you. He says, when you went without the stuff, didn't I take care of you? Didn't I make a way? Didn't I provide for you? God is faithful. Touch somebody, remind them God is faithful. God is faithful. God is faithful. God is faithful. And when he's faithful, we are grateful. When he is faithful, we are grateful. When he is faithful, we are grateful. I don't know about you, but I'm grateful to God for his goodness. I'm grateful for his mercy. I'm grateful for his love. I'm grateful for his understanding. I think that one reason that he will tell us sometimes go and don't take anything is so that you don't go resting in trusting your own tools, your own resources, your own connections. God says, I'm trying to give you a testimony where people will look at your life and they'll know this is only God. He's like, I'm going to lead you to do something, and your flesh is not going to tell you to do this. People are going to know this was God. Listen, it takes incredible humility to not flaunt your stuff when you have it. Humility is not weakness, it is strength under control. And Jesus was a strong man, but he wasn't loud, because real strength is not loud. Real money is not loud. The folks that's faking like they got it, when everything that they got is on credit, loud, just loud. Their ride is loud. But the folks that really got it, they be in a t-shirt and some jeans. You would never know they had anything. They're not going to be walking with a $50,000 chain around their neck. Real humility doesn't make a whole lot of noise. Real humility is shh. You realize this is not about me. It's about the one that lives in me. I love the words of C.S. Lewis that said that humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. Real greatness requires humility, and it is reserved for those who make others' lives better. We honor Jesus because of who he is, not where he was born, but for who he is, And I'm just telling you, Jesus was so outstanding. He was quietly born in a manger, in a stable. And God brought 3 kings of Orient. From the east they came. These men were astronomers, not astrologers, they were astronomers. They studied the stars. And they had been looking at the stars for many years, studying the stars. And all of a sudden, something different came in the constellation. They knew before any of the other prophetic people knew. The astronomers were reading the signs in the heavens. It was a declaration, no pun intended, but a star is born. And what was unique about the star is that this star was a moving star. It was not just fixed in the sky. It moved. And so the 3 wise men followed the star because the star was moving until it got over where Jesus was in Bethlehem. Then it stood still. That's how they knew where to come. Nobody else knew. The only ones who knew where to come were those wise men. But let me just show you how he doesn't leave common folks out. Not only did the wise men get the news by reading the stars, also the shepherds in the field got the news. This was not a prestigious job. To be around animals all day, you would smell like animals. It would get into your clothing. So there they were, the most common of jobs, almost despised on the social order among the people. This was not a prestigious job at all. It was lowly. And Jesus chose to reveal himself. Angels came and announced to the shepherds in the field that a king is born. They went to wise men and he went to ordinary people. Wonder why he would go to the ordinary. It's because he is his own extra. And whenever you deal with an extra God, he loves to take ordinary people and put his extra in front of you and make you extraordinary. It is that the supernatural power of the glory of God shows up best. When you want to show something as majestic, as glorious, the best way to do it is to bring it and demonstrate it among the ordinary. So he would come to ordinary men. He would appear to an ordinary girl. He comes to the ordinary so that his extra would shine with special brilliance. That's why he would come at nighttime, because the stars could only be seen at night. You don't see stars at high noon. So he waited until the backdrop of the backdrop of their life was black so that the light could shine. That's why God will sometimes take your dark past and put his glory on an ordinary person so that it shines in the darkness. The light shines in the darkness, And this is who Jesus is to us. He is this light shining into the darkness to ordinary people, not merely to kings of Orient or to wise men or astronomers. He went to shepherds in the field who didn't know anything about astronomy. But all of it still pointed from the high to the low. They all wound up at the same place. Why? So that they could honor him. And remember these three kings of Orient, these wise men, they knew that a king was born. That's why they brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh. What strange gifts as a baby shower gift. What in the world would a baby need with gold? It was about funding the future of where that baby was going. And sometimes you may not understand why you got a gift right now, why God has blessed you with certain things, but keep living and it'll all make sense. You don't understand, God will use it. He will unfold it. He will reveal to you stuff that you got burning in you right now because you don't even know where it goes. It's not for now, it's for later. But if you'll get it now, you'll have it later. So that when it's there and the need comes, the time to be ready is not the time to get ready. That's why God gives it to you before you need it. And that's why he was to be honored even though he was a baby, hadn't done anything, couldn't even speak in intelligent sentences, but yet there was honor that was brought to him. We honor Jesus Christ, not because of where he was born, but because of who he is. And let me just remind you of this, that you cannot receive from or be blessed by someone that you do not respect or honor. You can't receive from someone that you do not respect or honor, because dishonor disengages relationship. I can't tell you the number of people that have lost relationship because they were dishonorable in their behavior and attitude. Dishonor dismantles family. People will not stay where disrespect is being served. Dishonor dismantles families. Dishonor disrupts schools and communities. You can barely teach. Dishonor erodes trust and it breaks down communication when there's dishonor. And dishonor creates closed doors and loss of opportunities. That's why you have to honor. That's why the Bible says honor your mother and your father. Not necessarily because they acted in the most honorable way, but because of the position of who they are. Even if you get in on a job and if you don't like the boss, if they are the boss, there's an honor that comes to the position of the boss because they are the boss. There's an honor to the teacher because they are the teacher. And if you're the student, there's an honor that's there. And the moment that you dishonor, you close doors, you lose opportunities, you shut off communication, you dismantle fellowship. So honor blesses, honor opens, dishonor closes. It's amazing. But one of the things is that you cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to have something in order to give something. This is why you are blessed to bless. He wouldn't ask you to give something that you don't have. God has blessed you with more than what you realize. Can you imagine how different our world would be if you know that you're blessed and now if you bless somebody else? Can you imagine the power of what it means to be able to bless somebody else? And when you bless somebody with whatever you've been blessed with, it doesn't diminish you, it multiplies you. So that's why the command is to bless, to bless, to bless. And I want to walk you through very quickly here the 5 elements of a blessing. Because if you're going to be able to do something that can change another person's life, it's exactly doing these 5 simple things. 5 key elements of a blessing. This is revealed in the book by Gary Smalley and John Trent called The Blessing. These are the 5 elements of it. Number 1 is meaningful touch, physical touch. When you touch people, you actually lay your hands on them. You embrace them. It's a sign of physical affection, physical touch. I'm telling you, your touch can convey something that words cannot. You can feel love in a touch. And it's the very reason that why when you love somebody and when they get upset with you, the first thing that they do is snatch away, like, don't touch me. You know why? It's because if you do touch them and your touch conveys love, while on the inside they are feeling anger, now they're confused. Do I love him or do I hate him? Do I love her or do I hate him? And so you're asking that question because it confuses their emotions. So whenever people get angry with you, if you got the relationship, just get up and come up behind them and just embrace them. Because you are going to create a conundrum on the inside because they're angry with you and they want to stew in it for a little bit. And the moment that you begin to touch them, the feelings of animosity begin to melt down, and it's like, I'm not quite ready for this yet. So you get back because you know what you did. But physical touch is the first element of the blessing. When Abraham did it, Isaac did it, Jacob did it. When these folks, the patriarchs did it, they had their folks to come near them. They laid their hands on them. They touched them. You cannot be afraid of people if you want to bless them. They must be close enough to touch to convey the blessing. Here's number 2, spoken words. Spoken words. Don't let them assume it. Say it. Say it. Say it. It's spoken verbally because words carry power. Words carry power. Words express ideas. They express appreciation. They express love. They express potential and creativity. Words have power. So there must be spoken words. And listen, if it is an older child, the words need to be written. It needs to be written. Why? For their legacy's sake. Words need to be written for posterity so that you remember, because sometimes they have to be able to reflect on them. That's why God had a whole tribe called the scribes, so that they could write it down, because words need to be written. What a difference it makes if your blessing is written and you can reflect on it when you're in a state not feeling blessed. You need to go back to the blessing and read it, that this is the endowment that was spoken over my life. So it ought to be spoken, but it ought to be transcribed. It ought to be written as well. And you speak that. Number 3 is expressing high value to the person. When you bless a person, you must express high value. You communicate their unique qualities or their role. You express high value. Now, this is not just saying, "Ooh, my baby's special." Your baby's not special just because it's your baby. "Oh, my baby's smart." No. That's not really a compliment if your baby is lazy. There are smart people, gifted people that are lazy as I don't know what. It's like, no, my child is not just smart, my child is studious. My child is disciplined so that when they are taught, they are able to study and get the material and do well on the test because of an effort. It must be connected to an ability that's on the inside of them, not just a natural endowment. My baby is pretty. No. If you think that pretty is enough, send your picture to pay your mortgage. Send that down to the rent office and see how well that goes over. If you think you that cute. I mean, your utility bills, just your cell phone bill, just take a selfie and print it out and send it. No. You have to, here's the high value. My child, you are a responsible person. You are thoughtful. You are respectful. And you know that will carry you a long way. You're a hard worker. You are a caring person. You are an empathetic person. You are creatively gifted. Speak those words that express high value on the inside of them. Here's number 4. You have to picture a special future for them. This is about casting a vision of a positive future filled with hope, purpose, or divine guidance. A mother said to her son, she said, if you become a soldier, you'll wind up a general. If you become a monk, you'll wind up the Pope. Well, he was artistic and he became Pablo Picasso. He did it because his mother painted a special picture, letting him know that whatever you choose to be in life, you're going to the top. You're not going to be average. You are going to excel because that's who you are. She painted that picture. And she said, if you go into the military as a soldier, you'll wind up a general. If you try to get into the monastic order and become a monk, you'll wind up the Pope. Whatever you do, baby, you go into the top. Paint that picture. Paint that picture. Paint that picture. And here's the fifth thing, is commitment to fulfilling the blessing. This demonstrates a person's willingness to support the person. You have to, when you believe in people, you support them, you take them to practice. You help to coach them, or you get them a coach. You help to mentor them. And you have to even be saying, you know what, I'm willing, I am committed to praying for your success. I'm going to go with you. Commit to helping them to fulfill the blessing. Using some to say, I know some people. I'm going to make some telephone calls. I'll help you to get into this particular school. I'm going to use this. You do that. Those are the 5 elements of the blessing. I want you to review them and realize that this is something, the kind of a blessing that you can have within you and that nobody has the power to take away from you. And when you share the blessing with others, it will never diminish you, not one bit. I just came to remind you today that you're blessed to bless. You're taught to teach. You're fed to feed. You're given to give. You're comforted to comfort. You are loved to love. You are forgiven to forgive. Whatever God has done for you and in you, He now wants to do through you.
Thank you for watching Power for Living with Bishop Dale C. Bronner. We pray that this message has encouraged, equipped, and empowered you to live a more victorious life. Join us next time for Power for Living with Dale C. Bronner, where revelation is power, power for living.